7 Summer of Tennis, made possible by Kia, the power to surprise. Garnier, partner of the Australian Open. Medibank Private, I feel better now. And Reese, your bathroom, your life.
Last year they met 5 times, including the Olympic final where Dementjeva won a 3-set thriller. Tonight, the world's number 3 and 4 players are ready to light up Ken Rosewall Arena. It's women's finals night at the Medibank International. It's a fantastic atmosphere here in Sydney as the crowds continue to roll in for what should be a tremendous final between 2 very evenly matched players. Good evening, everyone. Great to have you with us. Since 2003, these two have met on 9 occasions, with Safina holding a slight edge, leading 5-4. But Dementjeva's won their last 2 matches, including probably the most important, that gold medal win in Beijing. Last week she won in Auckland, and of course this week she ousted the number 1 seed here, Serena Williams, in the semi-finals. So she goes in great form. Well, the showdown's about to begin, but first both players are ready to talk to Karen Pratt.
Elena Dementjeva, congratulations on a great start to 2009, winning in Auckland and through to another final here. You must be feeling very happy.
Thank you. I'm very happy with the way I started this year and just very excited about playing my final here in Sydney against Dinara. We played lots of matches last year, but it's going to be our first meeting in 2009. Just feel very exciting about it.
Thank you very much and have a great final. And Elena's opponent tonight, Dinara Safina, her fellow Russian, 5 years her junior and ranked 1 ahead of her in the world rankings at number 3. Dinara, you've done a great job this week working your way through in the heat against tough opponents. How much do you put that down to your mental strength?
Well, I think it was a good preparation. You know, now it's so cool outside, so I think I'm prepared for everything.
Thanks very much and have a good match.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the women's singles final, the Medibank International for 2009, please welcome from Russia, Elena Dementjeva. And escorting Elena is Priscilla Solanario from Hunters Hill, who is the current 16 and under Medibank age champion. And her opponent, from Russia, Dinara Safina. And escorting Dinara is Brittany Huxley.
Well, these two couldn't come out into this final more evenly matched, really. When you have a look at their records, I suppose with the exception that Elena Dementjeva, 27 years of age, she's at her career high ranking, believe it or not. She's been number 4 before, but that's where she sits now. And then Dinara Safina, 22, a little bit younger, and probably the one who's going to win a few more majors. That lady on screen. She won her first major, if you like. Not a Grand Slam, but that gold medal in Beijing. That was a big moment for her. And you consider that she's lost 2 Grand Slam finals, both to Russian countrywomen. And this is the 18th occasion that the WTA sees a final between 2 Russian women. And they do come in with good form. When you have a look at the results last week, Dinara Safina played with her brother at the Hopman Cup, and Dementjeva winning in Auckland, so both in very, very good form.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you please to be upstanding for the Australian National Anthem, to be performed by the Australian Youth Choir.
It's women's finals night at the Medibank International. Dinara Safina up against Elena Demencheva. That's next.
Seven Summer of Tennis, made possible by Optus, supporting the best of Australian tennis. Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning. And Wolf Blass, 2008 International Red Winemaker of the Year.
Hello, Maria, nice to meet you too. Okay, just a few reminders. The on-court coaching, only Dinara signed for it, and Hawkeye here, net device, that's it. Any question? No? You want to toss the coin? Sure. Who wants to choose?
Heads, please.
Okay, very good. Heads.
I receive.
Okay, thank you very much. A picture?
It's a big crowd inside Ken Rosal Arena for this women's final. Let's join our commentators, Alicia Mollick and John Alexander.
So the women's singles final, an all-Russian affair between Elena Demencheva, nearest to our screen, and Dinara Safina, just 22 years of age.
And on the rapid rise of the rankings of the WTA Tour, a silver medalist at the Beijing Games. I think a great concept having a night final, J.A.
Yes, it really is. And here she is, one of the hottest players on the tour in 2008. Just 22 years of age, brought a ranking from 15 to 3 in the world. And seated here, number 2 actually, career titles 9. She won last year in Berlin, Los Angeles, Montreal and Tokyo. She broke through to get to her first Grand Slam finals, the French Roland Garros, and also a finalist at the Olympics and Hertogenbosch. To get here, she has played magnificent tennis, untroubled in the first 2 rounds, and then against Lisa Cornet of France, pushed to her limit, but winning very comfortably and most impressively 6-3, 6-4, and then against the veteran Japanese champion Ei Sugiyama, struggling in the second set, but getting home again in straight sets. Has not lost a set in this event.
And her opponent today, Elena Demencheva, the number 3 seed here today, a gold medalist in Beijing. She won Auckland last week, so coming in with some fine form. She's 27 years of age and coached by her mother, Vera. However, she is being helped here by Andrei Olachovsky. Last year, Elena finished the year ranked number 4 in the world, and 5 out of 6 seasons has finished in the top 10. So a formidable opponent here today. She will definitely have her work cut out. Beat Ei Sugiyama and Serena Williams on the way to this final.
And the umpire tonight from Portugal, Mariana Alves. And it's only a couple of years ago, 2005, Alicia, you were in this position, played one of the great finals that we've ever had here. It was an absolute thriller. You saved match points, an all-Australian affair against your mate Sam Stosur. So this must give you some memories.
Oh, absolutely. It's always very difficult playing someone from your own country, let alone one of your best friends. But believe you me, once these girls step out on the court today, friendships are forgotten. I guarantee you that. But some wonderful memories for me. I know what the girls will be going through. Noticeably, they're both from Russia. They know this will be going live at home in Moscow.
One of the big improvements for Dinara in 2008 is her physical condition. She is in sparkling condition, as is her opponent of tonight. And Elena so aggressive off the ground, taking the ball early and going for the winner on the very opening point. Breezy here in Sydney this evening.
15-all.
Well, that ball at the net deserved to be put away, but just a display of Safina's confidence. Bounce smash from the baseline, second point. Not a bad way to start a match or a final.
These two have quite some history going back to 2003. They have played 9 times, with Safina leading 5-4. It's like she's stalking the older player. They played 5 times last year alone. Demencheva winning the last 2 times in China in the Olympics and the tour ending championship, just as she has the most impressive record of late over Serena Williams when she won in the previous round. That made it 3 times in a row against Serena. And there's very few players who can claim that. Amongst that few, Jennifer Capriati, and of course you'd imagine Venus.
Yeah.
Game.
Dinara holds at 30, leads 1-love.
7 Summer of Tennis, made possible by Kia, the power to surprise. Medibank Private, I feel better now. And Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning.
And you could imagine that that very high ball toss could present some problems tonight, because it is very gusty at times.
Well, it is quite breezy, but I think also the cooler conditions will allow for longer rallies. The ball will be heavier, won't move through the air as quickly. Maybe a more effective serve today. The slice with a bit of movement. Just going back onto head-to-heads, JA, as far as results go, it's something that both coaches would have made, well, both girls very aware of.
Lavish backswings of Dinara, just not timing the ball particularly well in a couple of those, and wild errors resulting. Just a little bit of early match tension for the younger player. And Dinara made huge moves last year, and you can just tell she is so determined and motivated to become the world's best.
It's not far away for both girls. I think her coach, Zelko Krasian, has done an amazing job, both with her game, her physique. She's obviously worked incredibly hard on the off-season.
Both players looking for their first Grand Slam. In 2004, Elena got to the finals of the French and the US. And last year, Dinara, the finals of the French.
I think the biggest area where Safina has made gains is in the mental department. She used to fold 3 or 4 years ago. You'd play Safina until she crumbled. She just isn't that same player anymore. She's a stealth out there. She handles every situation incredibly well. Just mentally tough.
See the wind gusting now. Dinara's hair around.
Of course, in the wind, a great option for a second serve is to hit with topspin, as Safina just did. Provides security, gets the ball dropping a little bit quicker. Often slice serves pose more of a problem in the wind.
Beautifully struck two-fister straight down the line. Aggressive play. Slightly more compact swings. Better for the windy conditions. Dinara holds and leads 2-1 in the opening set.
Safina leads 2 games to 1.
It starts with a dead judge, then our partner.
Duncan! Killing a cop.
Now, my boss.
Corruption, the acceptance of bribes.
Someone is trying to tear homicide apart.
Please do not move!
I've got a feeling they're coming for each of us.
Suspended. This is crap.
The new season is much more than great murder mystery. Seven's new City Homicide begins after the tennis.
Test drive phoenixholden.com.au. Finding your car is simple.
If my deal doesn't tempt you, nothing will.
Rosters apply to all scheme and bore users. So please stick to the roster because fines apply. For more Waterwise tips, visit our website. Together, we can help ensure water for all, forever.
When you're out and about, satisfy your craving for Australian Open 2009 with exclusive Channel 7 coverage delivered straight to your hand. Get all the tasty bits, including video highlights, live updates, news, player information and more from Optus. Just SMS tennis to 966. Optus, supporting the best in Australian tennis.
Well, much cooler and gusty conditions tonight. Elena Demencheva serving, trailing 1-2.
A nice change-up by Safina, something I haven't seen too much of. Demencheva is so solid from the back of the court, a very smart decision. She lost that point, but a very smart move by Safina. Great tactical play.
30 love.
That was great hitting. Demencheva just having the more positive court position, playing up on the baseline. Safina 2 or 3 metres behind that line. Demencheva always in a better position.
A little bit risky. This is a full-blooded blow from Dinara, and Elena smacking it back down the line, on the line for a winner.
Game Demeteva.
Andreyevsky, former Russian player.
2 games on.
And I believe he's the man who stopped Jim Courier in his Grand Slam bid when Jim had won the Australian and the French. An incredible upset at Wimbledon.
I think you're right there, John.
We must remind Jim of this next week. He's playing in Adelaide this week.
Oh, I had a look last night.
With my godson, Taylor Dent. More importantly, the son of the Aussie great Phil Dent, former finalist at the Australian Open, a winner of this championship on 2 occasions.
Worth a challenge.
And Saturday challenge to call on the left base, balls pulled out.
Dinara's gone for the challenge. It's a difficult call from that far, but wants to be sure that it was in fact out. And out it was. A worthwhile challenge, 15. Not far. On a hard court at night, it is difficult to tell the calls up the far end. It's interesting when you compare the technique.
2 challenges remaining.
Dinara's technique is very lavish, long backswings and swings really designed to generate pace, whereas Elena's swings are compact. She takes the ball early and made to play off pace. That's a Maria Sharapova impression.
I'm not sure what that was, but what I do know is she had that point won twice over.
Went to make the move to come into the net and hesitated. And the old saying, she who hesitates is lost. Well,
40-30.
What can you say about that without being offensive? This is just not a good try at a drop shot.
No, but the point was set up perfectly, and that's something that Demencheva is doing incredibly well today. She's setting the points up perfectly. I think it's only a matter of time before she finds her execution points. I think slightly a bit of panic there.
Game, Safina.
Tanara holds a couple of let-offs. Safina leads 3-2.
Safina leads 3 games to 2.
So it's women's singles final. Two of the greats of women's tennis, both vying with realistic chances to get the _1 spot in 2009. Tanara making wonderful progress last year, the year that she turned 22, finished the year in #3 position. Dementia serving. That's 3 rather rash errors that Elena has made in the last several points. Usually very well measured.
I don't think we've seen the best of either girl just yet. They would have spent countless hours on the practice courts together. They both play Fed Cup together for Russia. I think that's smart play by Devencheva. The wide serve to the Safina forehand. Often she moves wide without chopping off her court position, without moving forward. And that is the idea of a serve, to move your opponent off the court, get them out of position, to then capitalise on that next ball, hopefully a short ball.
There's her Achilles heel. Her serve, while much improved, can be a little frail when things get close. Break point. Admire the way Tanara goes for her shots all of the time. It's a great lesson for young players, for anybody trying to achieve their best.
Absolutely. I think it's always easier to start hitting out and always reel your way back in.
Beautiful forehand across court.
Advantage Dimitrova.
That's why Demencheva is so good. She uses her legs incredibly well. That's where she generates all of her pace, often from an open stance on both the forehand and backhand wings.
Game Dimitrova.
Jelena levels. 3 games all. First set.
Tomorrow night, it's men's finals night at the Medibank International. The fiery Argentine David Nalbandian and Finland's Jarkko Nieminen slug it out on Ken Rosewall Arena.
Well, Jarkko Nieminen had his best win of his life over Novak Djokovic today. First time he'd beaten a player in the top 5. He was thrilled. Safina serving.
I don't think Demencheva could have hit that much harder. Just goes to show what a supreme athlete she is. Recovering from way outside the court, regaining position, that's what she does so well. That's the big difference between the top players and those below, the way they recover from defense.
More shades of the shrieker. Maria Sharapova, who's withdrawn from the Australian with injury.
I don't get the feeling Demencheva is very clear about what she is intending to do out there. Some very uncharacteristic mistakes very early on in this first set.
That was a very nervous, shaky second serve halfway up the net if you're an optimist at 119.
Well, we'll put that down to the wind. We'll give her a bit of leeway on the first one.
Wind assisted.
Yeah.
Not the full culprit.
Here is her coach, Zelko Krasian.
Joko looked a little edgy, didn't he? Feeling there'd been missed opportunities the previous game, then the double fault, and now break point. Demencheva has the break, leads 4-3 first set. Never too young to come to the tennis. Oh, look at that. With new balls, Jelena Demencheva serving with a break, 4-3. Oh, that was close.
15.
3 out of the top 4 women in the world entered this event. Number 3 and the 4 we have in the final, and Serena Williams, number 2, beaten the semi-final.
Goes to show that an event like the Medibank International is very much a priority on the list of many of the top players. Obviously the same surface as the Australian Open. I'm sure there will be plenty of players in their hotel rooms watching this match, one being Stephanie Barawa, who plays against Demencheva the first round of the Australian Open, the other Alla Kudryavtseva.
Game Demencheva.
As the Open starts on Monday, all the action from Melbourne Park, 14 days and nights.
Demencheva leads 5 games to 3.
One of the great sporting events on the Australian calendar. Well, we at Seven like to think it's the greatest, in fact.
The greatest, absolutely. Both girls getting plenty of tennis under their belts. Demencheva winning last week in Auckland. Safina playing in the Hopman Cup with her brother Murat.
Showing some of the sap and talent. Murat,
15.
one of the greats of men's tennis.
Seeing one of the greats of women's tennis here tonight.
Dinara still hasn't settled down entirely, making an unusual number of unforced errors.
She'll be fine now. She just clipped that hair back. Of course, it is very difficult for girls. Longer hair. We need to get ourselves sorted out on court, feel comfortable.
Behind that one.
30-15.
What's interesting is that Demencheva always plays with a visor. Rain, hail or shine, she will always be wearing a visor. I think more superstition than anything. Of course, a big part of any tennis player's game.
Matching visor with her tennis dress.
Of course, the Sony Ericsson WTA patch that all players must wear. The tour sponsor. Demencheva.
40-30.
And that's just a display of the modern game and the modern forehand, hit with an open stance. What it does allow for is a player to disguise a forehand and or a backhand. Again, the open stance here on the backhand by Demencheva. And what gives her security is the fact that she gets down so well. She uses her knees extremely well for such a tall girl. A lesson to be learned from all of us.
Overpowered Dinara from the baseline. And now some adjustment, more adjustment of hair. She's also gone a shade or two darker than this time last year. Looking very glamorous, both girls. Backswing again contributing to the error of the ball moving with the gust of wind.
Well, what I like about that is she did not hesitate. That's a sign of a great player. They don't wish for it to go in, they hit it to go in. She missed, but she'll continue to go for that ball time and time again.
Advantage, Safina.
Sliding serve at 155.
The service speeds definitely are not up there tonight. I think we can find a reasoning for that in the cooler conditions. It's much more difficult to create speed off the racket. Often Safina up at in the 180s, close to 190s.
Yes.
Very hesitant double fault again from Dinara.
Advantage, David Newman.
Of course, Safina, the only player here today who has signed up for on-court coaching. At the end of this set, she is allowed to call upon her coach for a pep talk, a change of ends.
Advantage, Safina.
That is a new initiative on the WTA Tour.
Certainly tightening up. And you get the feeling that Elena would love to secure this set in this game rather than have to serve for it. This being her least reliable shot.
Net service. Advantage, Safina.
Beautiful forehand to the open court. All measured. It's an awfully big backswing on a low ball. Almost a comedy of errors.
Well, Safina was in position. May have just got there too quickly.
I think she was a little bit surprised to be in position.
She anticipated very well. Of course, it is much easier to smash on the offside. It takes a lot more strength to come around the ball and go in the other direction. Safina very disappointed with herself there. Another opportunity missed.
Advantage, Dimitrova.
Set point. There it is in 42 minutes. Elena Dimitrova, 6-3.
Safina request a coach on
everything you play is long. This last game you try to do one long line and one time you miss to the side. Everything is going long out. Everything you play to her. In her zone from 1 meter from her. Nothing else. You're not doing anything. How you want to do something when you're not going for anything? Play one cross, one long line. One cross, one long line. Why staying with her so much with these crosses? You have to change something. Every time she has a chance, she kills you on the forehand. You have a chance on the backhand, you don't do anything, which is your best chance to do something with the backhand. And don't hit flat down from the returns to her forehand, because you're leaving all the backhand side open. It's her best shot, backhand down the line, her forehand down the line. She's killing you with this shot. Either spin it, go back and spin it the 1 meter from the baseline, that she has to go back, or play long line. It's not that you had the break point on 3-2, what do you want? But you didn't do anything. It could be the other way around. Why do you think it's set?
Why hit down the line?
Why hit down the line? Why don't hit to the backhand? Why are you again going to the wrong spot?
Well, Jolka was filled with a lot of criticism and just vicious attack and telling that she was doing nothing, and Tara sort of sitting there and suffering through it. I don't know whether that was very helpful.
Well, she did look like she actually wanted him out there. She did ask for his company. I'm sure all of that would have sunk in. What Safina's coach did say is that Dinara Safina is hitting too much into the zone of Demencheva, which means she isn't needing to run, she isn't needing to move, she isn't needing to get out of her comfort zone.
What was missed was that Dinara's opening comment was, "I can't do anything," and he then abruptly agreed.
Well, she did seem pretty disappointed with herself, but Dinara Safina is a very switched on girl. She would know exactly what she needs to do. She hasn't been able to execute in the first set. There's still a good hour and a half, 2 hours left in this match.
Dinara trying to get aggressive, take the play to her opponent.
There is the long line, or we can translate that and say down the line. That is what her coach encouraged her to do. She was getting in too many cross-court rallies with Demencheva, losing out on many of those occasions. We will see more down the line. Well, that's extremely smart play here by Safina. On every other occasion, she has hit into the open court. Very, very smart going in behind Demencheva.
Safina has the early break. Leads 1-love in the second set.
First game, second set.
I don't think it will worry Demencheva too much. It's not the first time she would have had her serve broken in the opening game of a set. Great display of a backhand down the line, and just the way Demencheva gets down and uses her legs so well. So stable, has great core strength, short back swings, but uses that down the line so well. The reason she has won the first set is her execution on those balls.
Safina challenged the call on the right base, ball's called in.
Safina has asked for a challenge on her baseline, and this might be because her coach indicated the ball was long.
It's a very late challenge.
They're not full-hearted, and that's why, because it took half the line.
15
And to refresh everyone's memories, every player is allowed
2 challenges remaining.
I was about to say 3 challenges per set, 1 extra should the set move towards a tie break. I know Safina did not need to play a volley there, but that is the first time I've seen her advance towards the net.
Dinara wrong footing. Elena again. Trying the one-hander, coming up short. Saw that one coming.
Well, she went for broke there. Of course, when your opponent throws their ball toss out to the right, it is often an indication they are serving wide. That is something every player looks for, the direction of a player's ball toss. Start thinking ahead.
Game Safina.
Dinara stepping up the level of attack.
Safina leads 2 games to love.
Goes to 2 levels.
7 Summer of Tennis made possible by Garnier, partner of the Australian Open. Reese, your bathroom, your life. And Optus, supporting the best of Australian tennis.
Well, Demencheva's first serve at 128 kilometres an hour. Despite being a second serve, an opportunity for Safina to step into the court. She's standing pretty far back at the moment. And that's something I'd do now if I was Safina. I'd stand in another 2 metres. I'd make sure that Demencheva saw me coming. She's got such a big frame. She's a tall girl. She needs to use that advantage.
Nice move to the net, and the volley to set up the open court, safely into the open court. Dinara starting to dominate. And the serve of Elena starting to show vintage signs. The same confidence that she enjoyed during the first set.
15-14.
Well, Demencheva's serve may not be the best in the world, but I think she has the best first shot in the world. So used to that ball flying back at her shoelaces.
Very reliable from that position. Really makes an error and really fails to do what she should with the ball. Well measured, safe, measured aggression.
Advantage.
Not sure what happened there. It was in Safina's slot. She was a good metre behind the baseline. This is where Safina needs to start thinking about creating some errors off the racket of Demencheva. Force her to hit a few double faults. Jump around, move inside the baseline, visually be there for her to look up and see.
This was interesting when Jelko was giving, or supposedly giving advice. All he gave was criticism. He really didn't say a lot of what you should be doing or giving her some ideas of what to do next. And it's such an obvious thing with Jelena to stand up and menace her second serve. Right now you could be standing another metre to your left, threatening to take the ball on your forehand.
Absolutely.
Game
Jelena stays in sight, avoids going down the double break. It's 2-1, second set.
Safina leads 2 games to 1.
Number 2 seed with the advantage in the second set, leading 2-1, so easily could have been up a double break at 3-love. Missed her opportunities. Certainly is playing with every expectation of going to the third set.
Well, for the first time in that last game, Safina finished off a lot of points at net under strict instruction from her coach to play more long line, give Demencheva less rhythm.
It's a funny thing in the normal coaching dynamic. The coach is employed by the club and tells the player what to do and has authority, whereas in tennis, your boss is the player and the coach is then to advise. It's the only time where the employee would abuse the employer. Much like the paid caddies in golf. Now, boss, I'd like you to do this. Take a 3-iron and hit it up on the green close to the pin. And Elena's just stretching her shoulder a little. And back.
Well, it is interesting, the coach-pupil dynamic, because you are paying someone to give you advice. You're paying someone to improve your game. You're paying someone to tell you things that you probably don't want to hear. That is an interesting dynamic.
Game, Safina.
3-1. Safina leads.
Tomorrow night, it's men's finals night at the Medibank International. The fiery Argentine David Nalbandian and Finland's Jarkko Nieminen slug it out on Ken Rosewall Arena.
David Nalbandian. Jarkko Nieminen. The men's final tomorrow night. Both enjoyed great wins today. First time Jarkko has ever beaten anybody in the top 5, 27 years of age.
Love 15.
It's interesting, 3 out of the 4 finalists are 27 years of age.
It's a very good number, J.A. There's Andrei Olhovsky, who is helping Demencheva. Hope he can help her to a final win here today.
15.
Today's the most I've seen Safina frame the ball. It's very breezy, very windy out there. That is when you need to move your feet a little more, get into position, or make sure you're in the right position.
Again, the ball holding up, and Dinara not moving up to the bounce of the ball. The ball dropping and then trying to come up through the ball abruptly and catching the frame, and then the wind taking it long.
Well, set Demencheva, to Demencheva, but a very balanced match here tonight. Great play by Safina. Such a great striker of the ball. The slice backhand down the line, I believe, setting up that point for Safina. Often a change in spin is a very wise change in women's tennis. Often like hitting flat, hard, low trajectory. They don't see many slices.
Game Safina.
And goes to a 4-1 lead in the second set.
Safina leads 4 games to 1.
Safina in control of the second set with a double break at 4-1 and serving.
Thank you. Ready to play? Thank you.
Demencheva motioning there that she didn't get around quick enough. Wind always causes a bit of havoc. Well, the tide is turning, a lot more unforced errors coming from the racket of Demencheva. Safina just staying solid. That's all is required at this particular time.
Checking with her corner that the ball was in fact wide to save her the embarrassment of a wrong challenge. Now 2 points for a 5-1 lead.
And that's why Demencheva is so good. Constantly retrieving that entire point before that fine display of finesse. Forehand drop shot we don't often see. Must give credit to Demencheva. She is stepping in on her returns. She isn't afraid. She knows she's 4-1 down, but she can hit out.
Well, this is a must game for her to get back into the second set. Looking up, confirming that the ball was long, and that's really borderline on whether she's receiving assistance.
I do believe challenges should be quite immediate, or the decision.
So close, but just long. Dinara has the 5-1 lead.
Safina leads 5 games to 1.
So Dinara in a most comfortable position now with a double break. 5-1. Elena's game really has dropped off in the second set.
That's what a scoreline of 5-1 up will do. Just go for broke. Why not? I think both girls will be thinking towards the third set now. It'll be very difficult for Demencheva to concentrate on winning this second set now.
Come in and try a volley at this stage.
15-13.
Not really making very good net position.
30 all. Saturday challenge the call on the left base, balls and bounds.
Well, a late challenge within the rules. I don't believe there is a time frame on challenges.
And a good one by the looks of things. It is in. Catching the last little bit of the baseline.
30.
At 30 all. And this is not a set to remember for Elena. She's won the last 2 times they've met. The last time they played in the tour-ending championships, it was straight sets. Not tonight. Set point. And the real factor has been Dinara's form, which was scratchy in the first set, a lot of unforced errors, framed balls not adjusting to the windy conditions, and then settling down after the stern words from Coach Jolko.
Advantage,
Well, the girls trading blows there. Safina just stuck on that baseline. She's a great mover. Definitely has the opportunity to move forward a little bit more. Impose herself.
Game,
and stays within sight. It's 5-2. So there's the scoreline. Elena Demencheva winning the first set at 6-3, now trailing 5-2, a double break. Safina to serve for the second set. And gusty, windy conditions, very cool tonight. Elena keeping a towel over her shoulders to keep warm on the change of ends.
She has been stretching that right shoulder on a number of occasions. Could just be a long 2 weeks of tennis, winning last week in Auckland, the final this week. Just warming up for the Australian Open. Smart play by Safina here, just holding her backhand long enough, waiting for Demencheva to commit with her direction of movement. Great display of racket head speed and security.
Service. Safina.
That's a confident Safina. That's why she's here tonight in the final. The damaging backhand. I believe the more favoured shot.
There is
the second set. The match all even after an hour and 18 minutes.
If you by a little bit, I went for it, and then she hit the slice of the forehand.
Okay, but why are you making fun of yourself? 34, then 3 times you return, 3 times you make fun of yourself. Why? You are chances for the double breakup. You're seeing the wrong. But what forget the way you move. See the ball and try to find the ball and hit it. You cannot think now how you're moving. For sure not. About this you can think after, not now. What else? That's the only chance how you play, because it makes a big difference when you go for something. And you go for something. Also with the forehand you went for something now. And it's totally different. Don't run away from her and everything now to make fun of yourself. You have no time to think about yourself and to analyze yourself now. How you move and how you don't move and how you push and you don't push. You have a ball in your hand, you know what you have to do, and that's it. You have no time now. It's more you play one more set and that's it.
Please don't talk to him, because I look at you guys and you are talking to each other, and this is pissing me off so much.
Can you think about how you're playing on the ball, what's happening outside?
Because
you have no time for this.
To say something and you guys like...
I'm not looking or what?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
You are talking to each other.
Okay. Something else? She's serving. Same hit in this forehand, same. Don't go away now, because you were staying on this forehand between the second serve, and you were there, exactly there. You were staying, and your arm went and directly went through the ball. You were not already in the middle. So you can stay there, because when you hit it doesn't come back anymore. But if you run away from the shot, you put a cross. You are moving to the backhand, but she hits you the winner. Hit your shot first, hit the ball, and then go where you have to go. What it happens. And for the backhand, so still you can take a little bit earlier. Some forehands.
But this I realized, like, fuck. Then I said to myself, she gives me normal seconds. I don't know why I'm going back to him, instead of I'm really against.
Now the second set you're not going back, you were staying there. You still miss some, but you were going there. Your racket was going to the ball and you stayed with the power. You get afraid of the ball that is coming, or the power, not when it's coming so, but when the power comes, you're already going back. Stay there, face the power, put more power to the ball, like the second set. What, she went outside?
She went to change. She always goes to change.
Well, a little bit of humour between the two, as well as some stern advice.
Wow.
Jocko being chastised because he was accused of talking to others and making jokes. And this was upsetting Dinara, which she explained in the vernacular. And there was a little niceness between them too, to break the tension. But essentially his advice is to stay up and play aggressive and don't retreat. If be careful, don't get caught talking. No, it upsets her. So to decide this championship, a third set. These two players have played a mammoth 9 times.
Final set.
Safina leading 5-4, but she has lost the last 2 times. Demencheva serving. Quite interesting when Jocko said, where is she? Has she gone?
Yeah.
And Dinara just spat back. She always leaves the court after the second set.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't you know anything?
I think that break was just an opportunity for Safina to vent, get out a bit of frustration. She's built up over these 2 sets. Coach is just whispering very quietly. Careful not to be caught.
It's interesting that she is so reliant on her coach as not just an advisor but support mechanism, and she's looking to him between points, and she expects absolute concentration.
Well, I think a lot of females are in general reliant on their coaches.
No effort to get into position and secure the ball safely into the open court. It was a very, very makeable volley, this second one.
She was there just flat-footed. Often the most difficult volley is the one that comes directly at your body. Always easy to step forward and out towards the ball.
Imposing game by Dementieva. First game of the final set.
First game, final set.
And that's against the trend.
Absolutely. Dementieva, more often than not, would find herself down a break. We see there Safina using the ball in behind Dementieva. Very smart play. Dementieva so quick through the back of the court. Prefers to move into the open court rather than go behind. Makes me wonder what will happen if Safina once again catches her coach chatting on the side of the court.
Well, the hand over the mouth will always cover it up. Just temporarily losing her momentum that she had achieved in the second set.
It was a long break after the second.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, as a courtesy to both players, keep quiet between first and second serves. Thank you.
And fair enough. Well, Dementieva getting a racket on that backhand, but I sense she really didn't wish to hit it. Almost retreating.
Meter inside the baseline, taking the ball before the top of the bounce.
30-40.
Virtually back past Dinara as she was just finishing the follow through. Break point. Not for long. There's a real depth of confidence to be able to produce backhands like that, break point down.
Yeah, well, that was dealt with definitely. At shoulder height as well, just goes to show how strong Safina is. Double-fisted high backhand win across court.
Magnificent tennis from both players. Cut and thrust, attack, defence, and frustration in the end for Dinara. Best point of the match.
Advantage Demetrieva.
Well, that's what you call a serious cross-court forehand rally. Safina did have a few chances to move towards the net.
Stood up on this last forehand, came off the ball. Just checks if her coach is chatting.
I'm sure he was chatting after that point.
Game Demetrieva.
Incredibly against the trend. Demetrieva gets the break. 2-love, second set.
Demetrieva leads 2 games to 1.
Not only does she get the break, but signs of frustration from Safina. That's what has helped her the last 6 to 12 months. Her cool head, her calm nature. Somewhat a transformed player over the last year. She's taken most of the emotion out of her game. This game a must-win for Demetrieva. 2-love up serving. Huge opportunity. Safina just moving diagonally and backwards from the court or the baseline. Always very important to move to the quickest direction of the ball. Cut it off. Cut down court time.
Almost worth a challenge, I would have thought.
15-13.
Dinara coming straight back after dropping her serve in the previous game.
It's a smart and secure shot or choice of shot by Demetrieva here. The drive volley. Well measured. Played with topspin and a very safe shot. 30 all.
Real emotion out there.
14-13.
Early in the third set, Dinara desperate to get back on level terms. And Elena equally determined to go to 3 love. The poor ball toss nowhere near high enough to allow for full extension. A little contraction.
And moving backwards almost before she made contact.
She's feeling the tension.
Advantage 7.
Really shows much emotion within it, but it's just starting to slip a little bit.
Emphasis.
And the key there was the first serve of Dimitrova. Obviously, she needs to keep that very tight at this point in the match, not let Safina see any second serves.